Thank you, Juan. I almost hate to break the spell. That was beautiful. Good morning. My name's Emily Laugesen, and I'm pleased to serve as the worship associate this morning and welcome you all here. I invite us to take a deep breath and center ourselves with these words from Carl Sieber. Let there be joy in our coming together this morning. Let there be truth heard in the words we speak and the songs we sing. Let there be help and healing for our disharmony and disrepair. Let there be silence for the voice within us and beyond us. Let there be joy in our coming together. Come, let us worship. When we gather together, we join our siblings in faith in lighting a chalice, which has been a symbol of Unitarian Universalism for many decades. We'll light our chalice with these words. We light our chalice this morning as a reminder of our connections to each other and to all life. Let this light burn in our hearts, even in the face of fear and grief. Let this light be a beacon of hope, a beacon of joy, and a beacon of liberating love. And now, please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, number 1064, in the blue hymnal, teal hymnal, Blue Boat Home.
Thank you, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Urbana-Champaign. We are a congregation of many different ages, bodies, genders, histories, identities, and beliefs. And we are united in our mission to build community, seek inspiration, promote justice, and find peace. I'm Reverend Beth Monholland. My pronouns are she, hers. I am a short, middle-aged white woman with dark curly hair, wearing this morning lots of spring colors, pinks and greens, and a beautiful clerical stole, and it is my joy to welcome you today. I serve as the lead minister here alongside our associate minister, Reverend Sally Fritchie, and whether you were joining us this morning here in the sanctuary or from afar via the internet, I'm so grateful you've chosen to share time with us, and I trust that this service will bring you what your heart most needs today. I want to bid a special welcome to any guests who have joined us this morning. If you're here for your first or second time and would like to stay connected to us, learn more about the life of this congregation, please complete a connections card and put that in the offering plate later in the service. And if you are here with little ones, whether you're a visitor or a longtime member, we always like to say that we are a congregation of all ages, which means we are going to embrace all the potential noises and distractions that young people bring on a Sunday morning. Kids are always welcome to stay here for the entirety of the service, but we do have our REE, our religious exploration classes today. So after the time for all ages noted in your order of service, our kids and REE volunteers will be invited to go to their classrooms. Our nursery is open for little ones under 5, and I think you all got the message because I saw kids with lots of Easter baskets when they came in this morning. But immediately after the service, we're really around 11:30 out on the lawn, weather permitting, although the sun is shining through those clouds a little bit. We will have an amazing egg hunt. There will be prizes, and it's connected to exploring our UU values. So kids and grown-ups are welcome to participate in that fun activity. You are also welcome, if you need to this morning, to stretch your legs, get a little more wiggle room, to join the live stream of our service, which is in Fellowship Hall. That's a great space, like I said, if you just want a little more breathing room, and if you just need to move around in order to listen. And if it does help you to keep your hands busy, we have coloring packets in our entryway. You're welcome to get those at any point. And while the Easter egg hunt will be happening outside, there will of course be coffee and conversation and kinship in Fellowship Hall after the service. We invite you to participate in those things in whatever ways your body and spirit are called to do today. And with that, I want to invite us to take a deep breath together, or as deep as your body will allow you this morning. Maybe another. And one more as we come fully into this time of worship together. So I mentioned we're going to have an Easter egg hunt, which means probably in the Christian calendar, everybody, it is indeed Easter. So yay! Eggs and bunnies and resurrection and spring, those are all fabulous. And because we've been exploring joy in the month of April, Easter, for many of our Christian kin, is the most joyful season. We may say at Christmas time that Jesus is the reason for the season, but Jesus really is the reason for the season at Easter, if you are a Christian. And this week is also Earth Day, right? Yeah, I know. Thankful for the UUs who are like, yeah, Jesus is cool, but Earth Day! Right there with you, my friends. I wanted us to think about, in connection between Earth Day and Easter, which at its heart is about resurrection. What are we planting and renewing year after year? What arises in us? To think about joy in the dirt, or the mud, as today may be here in Central Illinois, and that's okay. So I need about 5 or 6 volunteers to come up. Yes, Theo's hand went immediately up. And these can be kids or grown-ups, but maybe 5 or 6 people to come up here for just a moment for our time for all ages. Can you all line up here for me? Come on up. Let me see what This is the time for all ages, right? How did that happen so fast? So I don't know if everybody can see, but on our chalice table today, we have not just candles, but we also have the potential for plants. Theo, we've got cups of dirt.
Seeds.
Not quite seeds, but here's what I want us to do. I want us to think about together what we might be planting. And so here's what I need, just for a moment. I'm going to give you all some envelopes, so don't look at them yet. But I want you to, can you take one here? Me, take one. Mabel? Thea? Who else wants an envelope? Okay, Amelia.
I need one.
All right. So for everybody who has an envelope right now, come over here on this side of me, and if you don't have an envelope, come over here. Come over here if you have an envelope. On my left side, my left, your right, whichever way you're. All right, so here in our dirt, we can plant lots of things. And we always are. And sometimes when we're in the midst of our lives and in the midst of everything, we're not even always aware of what we are planting. This is a metaphor, everybody. It's also literal, just in case you need it. So can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Theo, we're going to start with you. Tell us what you are planting.
Nothing.
Theo's planting nothing. Can you go stand over there by the... That's all right, Theo. Osmi, what are you planting?
Love.
Osmi's planting love. That's all right. Mabel, what are you planting?
Joy.
Mabel's planting joy. Amelia, what
From
are you
inside
planting?
out. Anger.
Anger.
From
Oh,
inside
Fran-
out. It's joy from inside
It
out.
is joy. Franny's planting fear. And then what do you have?
Hope.
Hope. Here, what do you have? And resistance. Everybody. There's all kinds of things we can be planting, right? In our seed cups here, we could plant nothing. And you know what you get when you plant nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing. That is correct. Nothing in that dirt. Do you know what you get when you plant anger?
Anger.
More anger, usually. What happens when you plant love, Osmi?
You get love.
You get some love. Resistance, joy, hope. The fact is, we actually need all of those things because, you know, sometimes what anger can get us, motivated to action. It's how we do it. Is the anger by itself or is the anger with resistance? Is it with joy and hope? Theo, hold on to that and then...
Do we still need nothing?
Here, I'm getting back to the nothing. Osmi's like, what do we have with nothing? Hold on to that. Who didn't get an, Sawyer, can you hold on to that? Let's see. Lucy?
When you plant anger, you get a temper tantrum.
You do get a temper tantrum. Thank you for the fear.
Anger plus anger. But anger
Who else needs one? Oh,
I want one.
it's all right.
And frustration.
Everyone, anger, frustration.
Anger plus frustration plus sadness equals major temper tantrum.
Anger, frustration plus sadness equals major temper tantrums. And fear. Franny, thank you. So here's what I want us to think about with our cups. So who got new envelopes? Can you tell us what's inside them? I'm going to start with mine. Roma tomatoes. What do you? Squash.
I didn't get it.
Oh, what did Sawyer did? What do you have, Sawyer? Cucumbers. Oh. Basil to go with our Roma tomatoes. We can plant real things, right? And I'm going to ask us later when we have I'm going to take this out of the sanctuary, everybody. I'm going to take these cups out, and while you're having the Easter egg hunt, if people want to plant some real things, you can. Real things like Roma tomatoes and basil and cucumbers, because when we dig our hands in the dirt, sometimes what we're planting, Theo, is always more than nothing. Because the dirt itself can be a gift to us. The dirt is saying, what can you toil? Do you know what toil means, everybody?
It doesn't make sense. If you're putting your hand in the ground, then you're planting your hand.
No. Digging our hands in the dirt. Sometimes what we're doing is we're turning the soil over. And it looks like nothing, but what it is potential to make space for the seeds for the Roma tomatoes and the love and the hope and even the anger that we might need sometimes.
And the nothing.
And the nothing.
And probably the bugs and stuff.
And probably the bugs and stuff. That's right, because the bugs and the worms are part of what is in the dirt and part of the life that actually lets our Roma tomatoes grow.
I still don't understand. If you're flipping the soil over, then you're flipping the soil over.
Correct.
I want to plant my hand.
So Mabel's like, Beth, you're stretching the metaphor too thinly. That's really what Mabel is telling us this morning. Here's what I want you to think about. Sometimes we say we're planting nothing. We look around and we're like, I did nothing today. I'm despairing and feeling helpless and hopeless, and all I see before me is dirt. And my point is that there's always something in the dirt for us. There's a bug, there's a worm, there's a seed we can't even see. The hidden treasure is the seed we can't even see. And so sometimes it's looking beyond what we think is empty dirt into the fertile soil where something more can grow. That's what I just want you to think about today.
Maybe even like a tardigrade, which is just like.
We are going way into the bugs and the tardigrades. And that's a different service, everybody. I tell you what, can you give me your envelopes back?
Tardigrades can survive on the road.
And if you want to help me plant seeds when you're out doing your... Thank you. And so, I want all the grown-ups and all the kids to think about that stretched thin metaphor of what's in the dirt, what you're planting, and we'll let our kids and volunteers go on down to their classrooms, go to your classes, and then it'll go like that, and you'll be ready for your Easter egg hunt. Thank you, Juan. I love a stretched thin metaphor, that's all I'm saying. Thank you all for that. Now is our time to share our joys and sorrows ritual. When we gather each Sunday, we know that we are bringing all that we are with us into this space together. And it is an act of spiritual generosity for us as a congregation to hold all that we are together. We do this in two ways in this congregation. We have an embodied ritual that we invite folks into, and then we also invite you, if you feel called to share something aloud today, to either send us an email to joysandsorrows@uucuc.org, or there's a Joy and Sorrow card in your pew rack. You can write those down, bring them up, or send them up during the offering. At Easter, we're aware that while it's a celebratory holiday, it grows out of pain. It grows out of death, the fear, the anger that some of the kids named. Our joys and sorrows are entwined in our lives. We can't have one without the other as much as we may wish it. And so this morning, whatever you might be feeling, whatever might be piercing in your heart, what grief you might be holding, both personal and global, know that there's space for it here in this community. Know that you are loved. I'll invite you during our music. Juan will play, and if you feel called to sing our blessing song, May the Longtime Son, to come up to either the chalice table here or the table in the center back. There's a bowl of water representing all of us, and there are stones and there are petals. Drop a stone for whatever sorrow you are carrying today into that water, and if you have a joy that's lifting you up, put a petal in the water and watch it float, as your joy may also float. Know that here there is space for all that you are. Let us sing.
We live our mission at this congregation in many ways. Building community means holding space for our joys and sorrows, and also connecting day to day and week to week through the opportunities both within and beyond our congregation. We invite you to subscribe to and read our weekly e-news to stay up to date on all of the activities offered through our REE program and our social action councils. This morning, I want to highlight just a few things. Please join us next Saturday, April 26th at 7 p.m. in Fellowship Hall for our Hope and Resistance Coffee House. There will be lots of music, laughter, and fun, and maybe tears as we celebrate and say goodbye to Reverend Sally. Sign up to bring a sweet or salty treat to share and enjoy the variety of performances. Our next Pathway to Membership class is on Saturday, May 3rd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. This will be the last chance to officially become a voting member of the congregation before our annual meeting on June 1st. So if you've been considering joining or are just curious to learn more, register on Realm. And finally, thank you to everyone who purchased items in the silent auction last evening. Yes, woo. One woo. If you did not take your purchase after the auction, you bought an item that needs to be, it's a physical thing. Ann Sharp will be in the fireplace room, which is just directly through those doors, about under the exit sign. And she'll be there after the service to assist you in picking up your item or items. You can read more details about these and other events in our e-news and check out the full calendar of events on Realm. Each Sunday, in recognition of our very real interdependence and reliance on each other, we pass the plate and share our offering with an organization doing the work of justice in the world. Our shared offering partner for April is the Keep Our Clinics campaign of Abortion Care Network. The Keep Our Clinics campaign provides funding to independent abortion clinics to help with necessary security improvements, medical equipment, legal costs to maintain compliance with politically motivated regulations, clinic building maintenance, and community education and advocacy. You can give through Realm and via the online portal on our website. Or if you're here in the sanctuary, the basket will be passed and checks can be made out to UUCUC, and in the memo put shared offering. Half of all non-pledged donations will go towards sustaining the work of the church, and the other half will go directly to our shared offering partner. We invite you to give whatever is generous for you. This is also the time to submit a written joy or sorrow. The offering will now be received.
Thank you both for that beautiful music. And thank you all for your generosity in all the ways that you share with this congregation. We have some joys and sorrows to share aloud this morning. If anybody else has a card they'd like to bring up, you're welcome to do so. I'll begin with a few that we received online. This is from Katie Goslin. A sorrow, anger, and disbelief over the illegal detainment of Abrego Garcia. No sage words, just sadness. This is an anonymous, but probably held by many. A joy for the years that we've had with Reverend Sally, and a sorrow that she is leaving us soon. A joy from Christine Cahill, who writes that it was a joy to travel with her husband Michael to visit his son Tristan, who's been teaching English in Japan for 7 years. Christine shares that they had a wonderful 2 weeks and are grateful to see the place that Tristan now calls home. A joy from Andrea Herzog. Our middle son had his senior art show on Friday as a culmination of his 4 years of of studio art in college, and it was amazing. Totally unbiased opinion here, AJ says. UCUC has been a place for him to find his true self, which came through in his art, so thank you for being part of our village. I'll leave them off. And from Allison Bell, a joy from the Milan Bell family. Our former foster children, Devin and Sari, are finally in a pre-adoptive home with their siblings, and we are so happy and grateful that the 4 of them will get to stay together. A sorrow from Jerry Carden and Roxy. We mourn the untimely loss of a friend from a Uniting Pride support group who we discovered at his home last Sunday. The promise of new life provides solace on this Easter Sunday as we witness the beautiful blooms around us. An auction joy, there's a couple of these. This is from the auction committee. Thank you to all the people who came out in person and online to make our 41st service auction a big and fun success. In addition to enjoying live music, drinks, appetizers, and an amazing dinner from Chef Anthony, truly it was outstandingly delicious. There is some food left over, and some of you can take it when you leave here today. But we all collectively raised nearly $23,000 for the church, so thank you, and keep an eye. The auction committee shares keep an eye in the e-news because there are still some unsold items. You can keep getting amazing things and keep adding to that total, which all those funds go to support the operations of the church. And also then from Chef Anthony, thank you to all who joined the auction last night, and a huge thank you for the help in the kitchen with setting up, food prep, cooking, and the cleaning. Your service is greatly appreciated. Amen. From here in the room. From Gail Cohen, everybody, why do I think I need those? Keeping my granddaughter in my thoughts today as she deals with her son's recent hospitalization. Oh, Gail, I'm sorry. From Andrew Cairns, thank you to the many people who work diligently behind the scenes to make our annual service auction a reality. Your efforts are seen and appreciated. Thank you. And to Andrew's daughter, Winona, who was also one of the amazing helpers yesterday. From Liz Munoz, and I'm guessing the whole Munoz family, Mabel Munoz is 10 years old, and we are so happy to have her joy in our family. I'm happy to have her joy here at church. If you see her today, and you'll see her later, she was one of the kids who was running around up here, just wish her a happy birthday. Happy 10 years, Mabel. And this is a joy and sorrow from Brittany Shipley. It has been a joy to be a member here. Today is my last service. Since I am moving on Wednesday, I will greatly miss everyone. And one final joy, I saved it to last because it's a poem, and on this Sunday, I feel like we can end our joy and sorrow with a poem. This is from Alyssa, who offers us a haiku today. Pink crackle of red, bud, canticles of aching, purple, abundance. Our joys and sorrows are abundant, both individually and collectively, and it's why we make space for each other in this way. Thank you for what you have shared and allowed me to share aloud. Thank you for everything you are still carrying silently in your hearts this morning. I'd like us to take a minute of silence together. I'm going to ring the singing bowl, and I just invite you, as you hear that chime, to hold the stillness together and honor everything we are each carrying. And now I'll invite Emily up for our reading, which is a poem written by the Reverend Kendall Gibbons. 3 years ago, she wrote this. It's called The Humanist Speaks of Easter.
There are only two things that we know for sure. One, they stashed Jesus' body in a tomb, temporarily until they could get a chance to bury it properly. And two, when they came back, the tomb was empty. Make of that what you will. There are many possible explanations, some more likely than others. I don't believe that Jesus came back from the dead. Neither did Martin or Malcolm. Neither did Viola Liuzzo or Frozan Safi, the women's rights activist shot by the Taliban in Afghanistan in 2021. Neither will dismembered journalist Jamal Khashoggi or Alexei Navalny when he died in a Russian prison. Neither will documentary filmmaker Brent Renaud or photographer Maxim Levin, both killed by invading armies in Ukraine. Kevin Strickland and Lamont McIntyre will not get back the stolen decades of their lives. I don't believe that the crucifixion is a story with a happy ending, or that it was a one-time event. It happens over and over as the human journey unfolds. It happens to us and to the people we love. It happens to the righteous and the innocent. Crucifixion happens, and it feels like the end of the world every time. It feels like nothing could matter anymore, ever. And then, inevitably and miraculously, something happens next. Something happens. Of course it does. Because the world hasn't ended yet. It is not always an empty tomb. How trite would that become? Mostly, the beloved bodies just lie right there, peacefully decomposing, But something happens, and whether we want it to or not, a new chapter begins. Maybe the sun comes up, or the lilies do. Spring rolls around. That happens. Or memories come, or someone needs you. You eat food. That happens. You walk down the road and share a recollection. Life happens, keeps happening. The dead don't rise, but we do. One day it happens. You take a breath, and it doesn't hurt to breathe. You start to see people again, really see them. Hope rises, community rises, you rise, we rise, life rises. Not because death isn't real, crucifixion is not just pretend, but something else is just as real. Crucifixion is not just pretend, but something else is just as real, maybe even more real. Something happens next. That is the other thing we know for sure. Life rises, outrage rises, love rises, faith rises, tears rise, hope rises. This I do believe. Please rise now in body or spirit to sing hymn number 163, For the Earth Forever Turning.
As I said earlier, we've been exploring joy as our theme in the month of April. And it's hard. It's hard to think about, talk about, write about, experience joy in these days. And I want to name that for myself and for all of you. But as I said 2 weeks ago, joy actually isn't about happiness. It's not about, are we happy and is everything hunky-dory and A-okay? And by the way, if everything is hunky-dory and A-okay in your life, good. It's not in the broader world because as our reading said, and as we all know, Crucifixion happens over and over again. It happens on a large scale to countless people crushed under the wheels of death machines in all their forms. It happens in the everyday griefs we carry when we lose a friend to death, expected or not. But joy does not rely on our happiness. It does not rely on everything being okay. The poet Ross Gay recently wrote, "What if joy is not only entangled with pain, suffering, or sorrow, but it's also what emerges from how we care for each other through those things?" Do you hear what he's saying? Not that joy comes from our suffering, which is a theology I utterly reject. It's never that. Joy isn't because we suffer. Joy comes from our connections and care for each other through our suffering. It's in the times of rising fascism, of fear and anger, that our joy, our connections to each other are absolutely necessary, and that has always been the case through all of human history. And we have witnessed that truth over and over and over again. This week, reflecting on Easter and this time, the Reverend Dr. William Barber wrote this: Gandhi faced the brutality of the British colonial rule both in South Africa and in India. He understood at a gut level how the cross was designed by an autocratic regime as a torture device to inspire fear and compel the masses to comply. In Gandhi's own experience, the cross was the officer's club, the soldier's gun, the jail cell where he could be locked away. But Gandhi observed how Jesus transformed the cross through the power of nonviolence, by building power through a moral movement and refusing to turn away, even taking up the cross in love. Jesus exposed the myths that propped up the autocrats of his day. Though the Roman regime looked like it had the ultimate authority, it actually couldn't force people to bend to its will. It couldn't even force Jesus to hate the people the regime used to torture and kill him. "Father, forgive them," Jesus prayed from the cross, "for they know not what they do." Reverend Dr. Barber is a Christian minister, of course. He has been fighting for civil rights in this country for at least a decade longer than I've been alive. He knows a few things about reflecting on the cross, on the harm that we do to each other, and on where salvation might come. And he and I acknowledge that right now it might be hard to imagine the kind of love and grace that Jesus offered, calling for forgiveness in the midst of suffering and death. It might be hard for any of us right now to feel like, yes, forgive them for they know not what they do, when it feels like far too many people in power and those who support them not only know the harm they do, but revel in it. And so we, all of us, get it wrong a lot. We people so often forsake long-term care for short-term profit. We poison the air and the water, and we scorch the earth, and we raise up empires over and over and over again that crush and crucify life. We humans do that. But Reverend Barber and the life of Jesus and Gandhi and so many others, the reading we heard this morning, remind us that as often as we humans get it wrong, we also do keep reaching for each other. We keep telling new stories and reinventing circles of care. We resist tyranny. We march. We write letters. We deliver food to each other. We nurture our children. We sing songs and make art, and we allow ourselves to be awed by beauty. We get it wrong a lot, but dear ones, we keep resurrecting hope and love and connections and digging in the dirt in order to remember from whence we came and to where we are all going. We return to earth and life rises again and again. And that is just as true, just as important as the pain that we cause, as the suffering we endure. Hope rises, community rises, you rise, we rise, life rises, Reverend Kendall Gibbons wrote. And we know death is real. Death is part of life. Things must end in order for something new to emerge. And so life rises right here in our midst, out of the dirt and soil that gets under our fingers, that we trample under our feet. Joy and life rise out of the mud and water and tears of our labor. Joy is what grows in the midst of all that life brings us. Joy is what can grow in that plot of dirt that looked barren, but only because we couldn't recognize its seeds. Joy is what grows in the nothing when we let the earth and ourselves rest so we can be renewed. So I invite us this Easter season, this Resurrection Sunday, this Earth Day, to remember we are part of all of life, not just human life, but this blue boat home of ours, the dirt, the air, the water, the bell peppers we might grow. And so I invite us to ask ourselves what we are planting in the dirt this year, in the literal dirt and in the metaphorical dirt of our hearts and our connections to each other. What are we nurturing as we tenderly make space for the fears and pains that are legitimate and real and must be tended to? When we think of resurrection, do we think of a miracle from some faraway God, some imaginary fairy godmother, or some mythic savior who's going to come in and make it all better? Or do we think about the work we do when we reach out our hands to each other? Does resurrection make you think of an autumn harvest? When you pause to give thanks for the hours of labor that went into tending the soil, to carrying water, to pulling weeds which so tenaciously grow even when we and where we don't want them to. The labor that plants the seeds so that it can be done over and over and over again. Is that what you might think of for resurrection today? Can we let resurrection not be that we conquer death, because we don't need to conquer death. We need to conquer the suffering we cause for each other and let death happen. Resurrection instead is the ordinary miracle of dirt and sweat and work and the ongoing cycle of life. We know we'll keep spinning on our axis, revolving around this sun longer than any of us can even imagine. Life will keep rising. We can trust that what we do here and now to serve that rising life matters, that it is joyous and joyful. And while we may only have this moment here, the miraculous specks of dust we are will keep rising. Keep reaching. And so on this Earth Day and Easter Sunday, think about what you're planting. Invite each other into your literal and metaphorical gardens. And imagine the sweet taste of fruit bursting on your tongues. Imagine the shared experience of digging your hands into the dirt together. And trust that this is how we save each other. Over and over, this is how we save each other, by digging our hands in the dirt and finding joy in the work and connections. I invite you today to go out and play with the kids in the dirt and the grass. I invite you to, maybe not in your Sunday finest, but later on, to go splash in a mud puddle somewhere, to go for a slow walk and notice the inevitable worms that in this muddy season might be on the sidewalk. And if you see one that is no longer moving, I invite you to pause and thank it for its life. And if you see one that's still wiggling and you feel so inclined, maybe gently move it back to the dirt and thank it for its life and for the reminder that here and now, what rises can be gratitude and joy and love. And on this spring day, let that precious gift carry you through. May it be so, and amen. We've been singing This Joy by the Resistance Revival Choir. And so today I invite us to sing it one more time. It's easy. It's a zipper song. I was like, are the lyrics up there? I can't tell. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. So we'll sing together. Are you going to play? No? All right. I was like, is he playing? No. I was not prepared for that. This is an a cappella thing, so I'm going to invite you to rise in body or spirit. You know I love to sing. I'm not really a song leader, though, but we are going to do this joyfully together and remember that we do not have to be perfect. We just have to be present. Shall I start it once for us? I'll probably be in the wrong key. You all can just make up your own key. I know, Juan's like, there's no key. It's fine, Beth, just sing. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. And this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. I love you all. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. That is true, my dear ones. Let that joy, no matter what else is happening, rise in you. We'll extinguish our chalice as we do with our words from Reverend Elizabeth Sully-Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And we have a very special postlude today from Brittany in her final service. Do you have a thing?
Yes. I was just going to say that there is a change. We are not doing Over the Rainbow. We are doing Lean on Me. But for those of you that love Over the Rainbow, I will be playing it next week or in 2 weeks. Thank you.